Welcome back. You're watching the development agenda for Budget 2011. I'm discussing the Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme with Dr. N.C. Saxena. Dr. Saxena, let's now touch upon one of the recent changes that have been done. Just a month back, the centre linked the wages under the NREGA with the Farm Labour Consumer Price Index. Essentially, what we are being told is that the wages will go up between 17 to 30%. Is this enough?
I think it's a very good move to link the wage payment, the wage amount with the price index, because as the prices go up, wages should also go up. A better solution would have been to pay the minimum wages and then say that Government of India will pay 100, 120 and the rest would be paid by the state government. But even what has been done, I think, is a good move, because this would mean that the wages would keep on increasing and will keep pace with the wage index, which is for the agricultural labor.
So we are discussing this in the run-up to Budget 2011, and clearly there is a lot of expectation on what the Finance Minister will do in terms of increasing the centre's allocation. Current fiscal year 40,100 crore. What are your expectations in this regard?
You know, you find that in such schemes, allocation always goes up, because everyone is looking at these schemes. These are very popular schemes, and the image of government depends on these schemes. So therefore, I am very sure that the budget estimate will show a figure of 45,000 crores. But here what is important is not so much what is shown in the budget, but what is spent, and what is the figure for revised estimates, RE figure, and what is the final expenditure. So therefore one should be concerned if the final expenditure is not going up. But the budget estimate, etc., I would not be very enthused if there is an increase of 20% or 30%, but that may exist only on paper, unless it is also backed up by actual expenditure next year.
So which are the states which have been doing well in implementing the NREGA?
There is a general impression that the non-Congress states do better in implementation of NREGA. But that is not fact, because when you look at the state-wide expenditure, Rajasthan and Andhra Pradesh are on the top. In fact, in Rajasthan, the total share of poverty is only 3%. Of the total number of poor in India, only 3% live in Rajasthan. But 20 to 22% of expenditure of NREGA is being done in Rajasthan. So Rajasthan is clearly on top, and it has remained so for the last 3 or 4 years, both under the BJP and under the present Congress regime.
What about a state like Bihar?
But Bihar is not doing well, Odisha is not doing well.
And Bihar is not doing well despite a good chief minister?
That's right, Bihar is not doing well because Bihar doesn't have block development officers, they don't have junior engineers, they don't have the people working at the grassroots. So they have to do recruitment. In fact, Bihar's main problem today is shortage of staff. And unless they tackle that issue, they would not be able to expend money on NREGA. Other states which are not doing very well are Maharashtra. Despite the fact that there are very, very poor regions in Maharashtra, in Vidarbha and Marathwada, Maharashtra is not doing well at all, because there is a conflict between the Zilla Parishad and the collector. So therefore, the state government has to sort out who is to implement this scheme.
Let's now talk about the structural changes and reforms that should be carried out with this scheme. Clearly, it is now in its 6th year. Several changes have happened, and there are a lot of expectations from this. What are the key changes that you would want to happen?
Well, the most important change I would like to see in this scheme is linking the scheme with agriculture production. Today what happens is we do not monitor what assets have been created. If you go to a block and try to find out what is the status of assets which were created in 2006 or 2007, you will not see any file. There is no such record. It's not being monitored, with the result that it is quite likely that our expenditure may have resulted in jobs being created, but it has not led to any increase in productivity. The main objective of the act was to link it with drought proofing, to see that in semi-arid areas, in rain-fed areas, we have higher production by doing water harvesting, by doing contour bunding, by seeing that water and soil runoff is stopped. That unfortunately is not being monitored. So I would like to see the scheme being linked not only with watershed development programs, but also with afforestation programs, because all afforestation programs are labor intensive, and therefore more nurseries, more planting of trees, etc. will create lots of jobs. But here again, you have to monitor, you have to ensure that protection is provided for at least 5 years. And although this protection is very much part of the scheme, unfortunately it is not being done. With the result, you may plant trees today and tomorrow they are not there. So we must monitor the program very well.
So in terms of the numbers, the latest statistics seem to suggest that 80% of all NREGA activities are in the very areas that you mentioned, that is essentially water conservation and drought proofing. What kind of ratio change would you want going down the line?
The ratio change is okay. In fact, 80% is okay. But these works are chosen because it is very easy to fudge documents here. Who knows whether the pond has been dug or not? You may say that I dug this pond and then I filled it up. So therefore you may show a lot of labor utilization without doing any work. So monitoring has to be done. These works are okay. Expenditure figure of 80% is very welcome. But unless you monitor and ensure that the pond which was created has really led to increase water supply, to increase subsoil water, and has helped in increase in agriculture production, mere expenditure will not be sufficient.
While the MNREGA is aimed at uplifting rural India, what about the scheme for the urban poor?
I am totally against extension of this scheme to the urban poor. The problems of urban poor are very different. Urban poor's main problem is housing, lack of hygiene, lack of sanitation, lack of health facilities, drinking water. These are their problem is not lack of jobs. They can easily earn 100 to 200 rupees a day, but they have no place to live. And another problem is that they are treated very badly by the system, by the police, by municipal authorities. There we require a change in mindset, but extension of this scheme to urban areas would be counterproductive. It would lead to more environmental problems in the cities. It would lead to more migration, which is not a good desirable activity. We should, on the other hand, increase the number of days from 100 to 150 or 200 in very, very depressed poor areas like tribal India.
And do you think the finance minister has the scope to go ahead and do that?
Well, they can certainly do it within the existing allocation. It is not a question of allocation. It's a question of proper monitoring of the schemes in those areas.
And there are no risks of fiscal unsustainability?
Not at all. I don't think so.
All right, Dr. Saxena, we'll leave it at that. Thank you very much for talking with us today. That was Dr. N.C. Saxena talking about the Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme and what needs to be done to take this scheme to the next level. You've been watching the development agenda for Budget 2011. With that, it's a wrap on this show. Thanks for watching.